It was unexpected, but it was glorious to watch. A comeback of 8 runs. The Jays trailed 8-0 a night ago and still managed to pull off the victory, scoring 14 all told. They'll try and light up the Reds again today at a game you will see from the Great American Ballpark moments from now here on Sportsnet. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jamie Campbell along with Kevin Barker, who's sitting in for Greg Zahn. It was a whole lot of fun to watch, no question about that. The Blue Jays looked like they were done early against the Reds, down 8-0 at one point, but they came all the way back for the second greatest comeback in the history of the franchise. The first occurred at Fenway Park, down 10-0 to the Red Sox in 1989. Among the highlights, a grand slam by Ernie Witt off Lee Smith. Remember last year, down 7-0 to the Rays? J.P. Arancibia sealed it, and then this was Tim Corcoran with a bases-loaded walk to Aaron Hill. Down 7, they came back to win that game as well. The Blue Jays have pulled off some epic comebacks. Last night was an absolute dandy and much needed, too, after they were swept in 3 by the New York Yankees. Let's hear from Jose Bautista on how he felt about last night's victory.
Certainly one of those games that can inspire the team and kind of get you out of a bad slump. And ironically enough, we are going through a rough stretch right now. Hopefully that win clears our head, allows us to relax, and it's a good reminder that you can come back from any deficit.
I mean, it's a big win for us. We came in off a tough series in New York. We fall behind 8-0 and to come back. I mean, it's very rare at this level of baseball, but we pulled that off and gave us a little confidence back. Guys start feeling good about themselves again, and that's important.
The mood in that dugout was tremendous, and the guys didn't quit. The relief pitchers did a great job coming in and holding the fort, and the offense started surging. So it was a great win, and you hope at the end of the season it's a game you look back at and you say that was a big win for us.
John Gibbons only had 6 members of the bullpen to utilize last night, right, and he could have said to Liam Hendriks, hey, look, I need you to suck up 5 or 6 innings here. But he didn't. He pulled him after an inning and 2/3, and the Jays were down 4-0. Explain why that was such an important decision.
Well, Gibby knows they've lost 9 of their last 12. They got swept by the Yankees. They weren't playing well anywhere on the field. He goes to the mound. Could have said, Liam, you're going to have to wear this one. Maybe goes 5 or 6 innings. Instead, goes to the bullpen. Bullpen gives him 7 strong innings, giving your offense, that powerful offense, a chance to get back in the game. Says a lot about Gibby. Says a lot about your team to come back 8-0. Who knows? This could be a huge turning point for your team.
It certainly could. It keeps them in first place. The Yankees on the cusp of losing to Baltimore today in New York. Here's the mound meeting today, and it's Jay Happ. Utterly brilliant Sunday in Baltimore. 6 innings of work. Didn't walk a soul. Struck out 6. Gave up just 1 earned run. The Blue Jays won 5-2. Going up against Mike Leake today. And here's one of the better hitters among pitchers in the National League. But pitching lately has been a bit of a problem for Leake. In his last 3 starts, he's surrendered 26 hits and given up a .377 opponent's average. Let's speak to Pete Walker on why Happ's been fairly good recently.
He's been getting ahead early in the count. His best game so far, he's been efficient with his pitches. He's forcing contact early. I think he's used his changeup in the games that have been quality starts. He's used his changeup effectively, and I think at times his slider can be good.
He's been very consistent. He started in the bullpen. He wasn't happy with that, and he finally got his chance to start, and he's running with it. And he's a perfect guy to have today. He's a big, strong guy. He's very durable. We need some innings out of that guy, and he can handle the bat a little bit too. So it's always good to see him in National League parks.
With the victory last night, the Blue Jays are now 3-5 on this road trip. It wraps up tomorrow with R.A. Dickey on the hill. Monday, the Blue Jays are back in Toronto to start a series with the New York Yankees. Sit back and enjoy. It's a beautiful day for baseball in Cincinnati, and we've got the first pitch coming your way next.
welcome back to Cincinnati, where the Blue Jays had their second biggest comeback in the history of the franchise. They were down 8-0 after 2 innings and came back to win it 14-9. Now the important thing for John Gibbons Ball Club to carry that momentum into this game and make sure they make something out of it. But it certainly looked like they were headed for their 4th straight loss. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. Top of the order, Jose Reyes, Melky Cabrera, and Jose Bautista. Edwin Encarnacion in his last 6 games has hit .400. He's had 3 home runs in his last 2 games. He's really starting to swing it once again. And then down in the order, Eric Kratz against Mike Leake. The Reds starter has gone 3 for 5 in his career with 2 home runs. And Kratz, of course, had the big hit in last night's game. The go-ahead hit in the ninth.
Mike Leake will take the mound this afternoon for the Cincinnati Reds, making his 15th start of the season. He had a strong start to this year by Leake through the end of May. His ERA sat at 2.92, but June has been a different story for Mike Leake. He has been knocked around. His ERA up over 8 in 3 June starts. Teams are hitting .377 against Mike Leake this year. Still, ERA under 4 at 3.8. In his career versus Toronto, he's allowed 3 runs on 5 hits over 7 innings in his only start against the Blue Jays here in Cincinnati.
Came back in June of 2011. Let's take a look at the defense. This is the best defensive ball club in baseball. It's Ryan Ludwig back in left field today. The speedster Billy Hamilton in center. Jay Bruce is in right. On the infield, it's Frazier and Ramon Santiago making the start at shortstop today. A couple of Gold Glovers on the right side, Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto, and the catcher is Devin Mesoraco, who's turned into a pretty good young everyday catcher for Cincinnati.
And that right side of the infield for the Reds is very special with the guy in the middle of the diamond. That's Brandon Phillips, 4-time Gold Glove winner. That's 1 shy of Joe Morgan's club record for a second baseman.
Jose Reyes is in the box. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is upstairs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Buck, after the pitcher throws all of his warm-up pitches, this is the last thing you want to see.
Right, Brandon Phillips.
Right into center field. So the ball that Mike Leake was working out with, throwing all his warm-up pitches, they threw it out of the ball game.
Out of the game. You throw 8 pitches with your game ball, and then the catcher throws it away. Not a good start. Ball and a strike to Jose Reyes. Little cutter inside, and Reyes is behind 1-2. Jose had a rough night at the plate. He was 0 for 6 last night. Reyes 2 for 7 in his career against Mike Leake, and got a little bit of an idea. Reyes, to me, looks like he's trying to pull the ball a little bit too much right now. I think if he goes back up the middle, the opposite field, that stroke will come around.
Maybe that's the byproduct of the home run he hit off of Tanaka to open up that series in New York. First pitch fastball, yanked it into the bleachers. Ever since then, he has been off target.
First strikeout for Mike Leake, and he will mix it up pretty effectively. He's got a wide assortment of pitches to lean on.
Yeah, he certainly does. Fastball 52% of the time. Then the cutter, curveball, the slider, and the changeup. He's unpredictable. I think that's the best way that you can describe Mike Leake. You don't know what you're going to get in certain situations. Doesn't really have a pattern. His best pitch, I think, is his slider. Hitters hitting under 200 against Mike Leake's slider this year.
Number 2 man is Melky Cabrera, the left fielder. He takes a look at Mike Leake and takes his strike. Melky with another multi-hit game last night. Hits this one big, 2-hopper to the second baseman. Phillips will underhand the runner, 2 down. Jose Bautista didn't have a hit last night, but he was on base 4 times. He walked 4 times and had a bases loaded walk to pick up an RBI. And you look at the on-base percentage leaders in the American League. Jose Bautista way out in front. He's done a terrific job of showing extreme patience. He has 59 walks now. And he's 38 points ahead of Mike Trout in the on-base percentage.
Well, you just watch him at the plate. It's almost like he's looking for that high fastball that he could turn on it. And if you don't throw it there, he'll just take it.
Jose, in that one game back in 2011 against Mike Leake, went 2 for 3. This is a guy that you're going to have to throttle down your swing against. He doesn't have that upper 90s fastball. Probably the Kevin Seitzer approach of using the middle of the field works best against Mike Leake.
Changes speeds, uses his breaking ball. Go back up the middle. He can't throw the ball by you. And he's going to be around the plate. Throws a lot of strikes. Told you that in the month of June he has really struggled and he's been hit hard, but he still hasn't walked anybody. Just 3 batters this whole month.
Has a breaking ball for a strike. This is his 4th start in June. He's given up 26 hits in 15 1/3. Strike 3 call. Bautista couldn't believe it. Joe West, the veteran home plate umpire, calls him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Leake. Jay Happ will take them out when we come back to Cincinnati. Cincinnati Reds, as they are trying to bounce back from a disappointing loss last night. This ball club was up 8-0 and eventually would lose the ball game. Billy Hamilton, top of the order. The speedster could really fly. Joey Votto against Jay Happ has gone 6 for 14, a couple of doubles and 2 RBIs. Down in the order, and Brandon Phillips, he too has good numbers against the left-hander Jay Happ, 6 for 12. He's hit 3 home runs against Happ. And Jay Happ has been on a roll of late. He has really pitched well since moving back into the rotation.
Certainly has. It's been an up and down season for Jay Happ, but still 6-3 with a 405 earned run average. That's through 12 appearances, 9 starts for Happ so far this season. He's coming off a strong outing against the Orioles. He allowed just 1 run of 7 hits. And more importantly, he didn't walk anybody. That's the first time this season that Jay has not walked a batter in a game. Pitched 6 innings and had 6 strikeouts. Looking for more of the same this afternoon against the Reds.
Blue Jays certainly need him to pitch deep. Liam Hendricks, the starter, went an inning and 2/3 last night. The Blue Jays would have to use 5 relievers to finish out the ball game. So Jay Happ, they hope he can pitch into the 7th, maybe the 8th inning here this afternoon. Billy Hamilton is a switch hitter. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Hamilton last night had a bloop double, picked up an RBI in the 2nd inning. He had a stolen base. He was on base twice, reached on an error in the 6th. Got a 9-game hit streak, up over 400 during those 9 games.
And he is improving as this season gets longer and longer this year, as a hitter and as a defender. I was talking to the bench coach today, Jay Bell, for the Cincinnati Reds, and I was asking him about Billy Hamilton, and he was saying he wants to learn. He wants to learn and get better. He'll listen to the coaches and do what it takes to make himself a better ball player.
On the ground, Kawasaki quickly to first, 1 down. Take a look at the defense. Munenori Kawasaki at second base. He had a great game in the field last night. In the outfield, it's Cabrera, Rasmussen, Bautista from left to right. Brett Laurie at third. Reyes and Kawasaki up the middle. Encarnacion at first base. And Eric Kratz is behind the plate for Jay Happ. This has been a good combination, Kratz and Happ.
And Kratz is probably the more important defender today. He calls a good game, and he really pushes Jay Happ to throw the fastball, keep it down in the strike zone, and attack these hitters.
And the ball driven to right. Bautista back, makes a nice running catch. Todd Frazier drilled it to right. Bautista really stayed with it. That ball carried right onto the warning track, and he made a running catch, a stride onto the warning track.
I don't know if there's been anybody in the American League who has played a finer right field than Jose Bautista. You can see where he's playing straight away and then reads it. And as an outfielder, you want to run right through that baseball right there. You see him, he keeps his feet moving, runs right through the baseball, and just hauls it in.
Joey Votto takes one downstairs.
You know, here's another thing, Buck. I think that Eric Kratz, it's important today, along with his game calling and the way he receives that fastball. He's got to try and shut down the running game. He's the best throwing catcher in terms of caught stealing percentage that the Blue Jays have, and the Reds have a lot of guys who can run.
16th start for Eric Kratz behind the plate. Votto swings at the off-speed pitch. 1-2. Joey Votto was 0 for 4 in last night's game. He walked and scored in the second. Votto reached on an error in his first at bat last night.
You want to talk about bunching a player? How about that defensive alignment right there by the Blue Jays? That is Brett Lawrie and Reyes and Kawasaki. Infielders, 3 of them right up the middle. Votto hits the ball all over the place. So you take your infield, put him in the middle of the diamond.
His playing percentages, and Joey Votto will stay in a big part of the field. Full count, 2 outs. There's a walk for Votto. A 2-out walk here in the first. So Jay Happ, after not walking a batter in his last start, walks one here in the first inning.
And what makes that one really hard to take, he was ahead of Votto and then tried to throw a breaking ball for a strike, tried to trick him, if you will, instead of just attacking him.
Brandon Phillips, the cleanup man. We mentioned Phillips has 6 hits in 12 at-bats against Jay Happ, and he has 3 home runs. So you hate to put Votto on base ahead of Phillips. Happ works out of the stretch for the first time. Jay Happ is 31 years old. Blue Jays acquired him in a deal from the Houston Astros. Started his career with the Philadelphia Phillies and had a terrific rookie season in 2009. He went 12 and 4. Made 23 starts that year.
One of them against the Blue Jays. He pitched a beauty against Toronto when they faced each other at the Rogers Center. I think the Blue Jays remembered that start he had. And when they had a chance to acquire him from Houston, they remember how well he pitched.
Happ went from the Phillies to the Houston Astros along with Jonathan Villar and Anthony Gose in exchange for Roy Oswalt in 2010. It was a summer trade deadline move. Then he came to the Blue Jays with David Carpenter and Brandon Lyon in exchange for a bunch of minor leaguers and Francisco Cordero and Ben Francisco on the 20th of July in 2012.
And the only guy left standing from that trade, Jay Happ, right there.
3-1 now. Votto at first. Back-to-back 2-out walks. That'll bring Jay Bruce to the plate, and he did some damage in the second inning. Had 2 hits, including this drive with a man aboard.
Especially early in the count, early in the ball game yesterday. He's always hunting fastball early in the count. He got one that time and smoked it into the gap in right center field. He is looking at fastball, and Jay Happ is a fastball type of pitcher. Doesn't have to pull it to knock it out of the ballpark.
218 for the season. Bruce has not really enjoyed any consistency whatsoever. Jay Happ's going to have to get back in the strike zone quickly here. He's thrown 17 pitches now, and after retiring the first 2 batters quickly, he has walked Votto and Brandon Phillips.
He is at his best, I think, when he is taking that fastball. And it's one thing to say use your fastball, throw a lot of fastballs. It's another thing, throw quality pitches with it. It's better when he is working down in the strike zone and out of the middle of the plate. There's something about his delivery, and you talk to batters on the opposition, there's something about his delivery. They just don't pick his fastball up. Stay aggressive.
There's a strike. 1-1 to the Reds right fielder. Maybe you sit on the bench and watch that fireworks display last night. You get a little tentative. Teams combined for 23 runs on 26 hits, and they hit 6 home runs in the game last night. Happ is ahead 1-2.
And it's a great hitter's ballpark, and you're in the middle of the lineup. But I think you have to establish what you're going to do in the first inning, and that is I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to attack these Reds hitters. Put them on the defensive.
Foul down the left side, and that's going to reach the second deck. And the fan dropped it. He had a nice souvenir and fell out of his hands down to the first deck. So Jay Happ trying to get out of the first inning. He's got a couple of Reds aboard. Votto at second, Phillips at first. They both took walks. Good job by Kratz to block that ball in the dirt. 21 pitch first inning for Jay Happ, and we mentioned the Blue Jays need him to go deep this afternoon.
Yeah, have some quick innings. 7 pitches, 9 pitches. Right now, 11 balls and 10 strikes. If you divvy up those 21 pitches so far in the first inning.
Full count. 2 outs. The runners will be off on the pitch. Big right-handed bat on deck is Ryan Ludwig. Votto at second, Phillips at first. They'll be off on the pitch. There they go. Ball 4. That'll load the bases. So Jay Happ has walked 3 straight batters, all coming with 2 outs.
After not walking a batter in his last start, it's been hit or miss for him. That's what we were talking about, being an up and down type of season, trying to find some consistency. What he's thinking right now is we have an extra arm in our bullpen, but we need our starter to go a little bit longer.
Rob Rasmussen has been added to the bullpen as Liam Hendricks, the starter in last night's game, was sent back to Buffalo. Rasmussen, the left-hander, who was with the Blue Jays earlier. Ryan Ludwig, the left fielder. Throw to second base, and Kawasaki makes a nice play. Kawasaki may have been caught off guard because he was behind the base. He wasn't at second base when Kratz threw the ball to second.
You can see where he is set up, and I'm with you. I think that one took him by surprise. Catchers will give signs to the middle infielders, and if you're there, they'll take a shot like that. But it didn't look like Kawasaki got the sign.
There's a base hit into center. Votto's in to score. Phillips is going to score. The throw goes to third base. It is not in time. Ryan Ludwig with a 2-out, 2-run single has put Cincinnati ahead.
Boy, first 2 go quickly here in the first inning, and it looks like Jay Happ's going to have a quick one, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off and he starts losing the strike zone. I think he was a little bit too fine with Votto and Phillips and then Bruce, and now there's no place to put Ryan Ludwig, so you got to come into him with a fastball, and he loves that fastball. Strokes a single into right field, 2-run score. And an inning that looked like it was going to be 1, 2, 3 and quick up and down has now turned into 2 runs and 2 more out on the bases.
So Pete Walker, the pitching coach, with a quick visit to the mound. He has said his piece. Now Devin Mesoraco, the catcher, who is a first ball fastball hitter.
And loves the ball on the inner half. You can see where that pitch is right there from Liam Hendricks. That one's not coming back. He stayed right through that pitch. Didn't try and hook it. Didn't try and serve it into right field. Stay right through it. Knocked it out of the ballpark for his 11th home run.
2 outs, runners at the corners. There's a strike. Good spot. Mesoraco has taken over as the everyday catcher. He's 26 years old. This is his 4th year with the Reds, first year as the everyday catcher. That ball gets away from Kratz, and another run's going to score. Jay Bruce comes home, and it's 3-0 Reds.
They will probably go as a pass ball because that was a breaking ball right there. But Kratz, I don't know what happened here. How he missed that one.
He just missed it. There's no explanation for it. It goes back to the screen. It's his first pass ball of the season. And it gives the Reds another run. (3-0) Cincinnati. Mesoraco with the count in his favor, 2-1. His home run last night was his 11th. He's got a mini 4-game hit streak working.
Be careful right here.
Jay Happ can't throw a strike. Interesting how this game turns around so quickly. He retired the first 2, no problem. Frazier hit the ball hard to right.
But he got ahead of Joey Votto and then just couldn't finish him off. And now he's got his 4th walk of the inning. And you can't go to your bullpen.
Went to the pen last night in the 2nd. And they used 5 relievers. The only one that didn't pitch in the game last night was Aaron Leake. Todd Redmond threw 53 pitches, so you'd think he is out of the picture today.
Yeah, I asked Gibby that today. He's the only guy who's not available.
Chad Jenkins threw 9 pitches, but he has worked in the last 3 games. Bases are loaded once again. Ramon Santiago. Excuse me, first and second. Jay Bruce came in on the pass ball. 4 walks in the inning. Santiago, the former Tiger, he has landed on his feet here in Cincinnati. Another good utility player the Reds have picked up.
Yeah, he can play all the infield positions. And when he was with the Tigers, whenever he got a chance to play, he always seemed to do something against the Blue Jays.
Spent 10 seasons with the Tigers, a couple of years in Seattle, 2004 and 2005. This is his first year with the Reds. He is 34 years old. One and 2. You can't expect to overcome an 8-run deficit every day.
No.
You got to make sure you save these runs on base. Blue Jays are down 3-0.
On a hot, steamy afternoon like today, this got to be even tougher on Jay Happ. He is up to 34 pitches already this inning. And it's just the first.
Santiago, the 8th man to bat in the first, and it all started with 2 outs and nobody on.
A harmless 2-out walk.
Yeah.
Harmless.
Walks are never harmless.
Yeah. What do you think? Okay, you got the first 2 guys, and it was something like 4 pitches, maybe. And he got ahead of Otto, and then to me it looked like he was trying to be too fine, like he didn't want to make a mistake. He was trying to throw where he wanted to instead of just attacking that strike zone. And then you lose that as a pitcher. You lose that release point, and Jay's been guilty of that. You lose a release point, and it's hard to find it again. One thing that the Jays have been working with him is they want him to speed it up just a little bit. They don't want him hanging out over the rubber too long. That really messes up his timing.
Pitcher is on deck. Mike Leake. There go the runners. The ball is hit up the middle. Reyes near second, goes to first, and the inning is over. But the Reds score 3 runs on just 1 hit. Blue Jays got some work to do. Edwin Encarnacion, a couple of home runs, and he drove in 6 last night. He'll start. And Edwin Encarnacion will lead things off for the Blue Jays, and Edwin hit 2 home runs and drove in 6 in last night's game, and that has put him atop the Major League leaderboards in home runs and RBIs. You see Edwin Encarnacion tied with Nelson Cruz, who homered this afternoon in New York for the Orioles. They are tied with 23, but Encarnacion has 62 RBIs, and we are not in July yet. So if you're thinking about that all-star ballot, you better log online at BlueJays.com and call up the all-star ballot and punch out a few votes for Edwin Encarnacion. He is listed as a DH, and you need to make sure you vote often for Encarnacion. I believe the voting ends on July 3rd. So make sure you log online and cast a vote for Edwin Encarnacion along with Bautista, Cabrera, and Reyes.
How about today is the first day of summer?
How about that?
And he's got 23 home runs and 62 RBIs. Hit his 6th multi-home run game last night. Twice as many as any other player this year.
Had 5 multi-homer games in May. And we have seen him get red hot. He homered in his last game in New York. 2 home runs last night. He might be on one of those things again.
Like a light switch. It turns on and he goes crazy. And then it can come and go also. But right now he's seeing it and he's hitting it hard. 4 teams are still seeking the first player with a multi-home run game. Tells you how good he's been.
As the count in his favor now, 2 balls and a strike. Way outside. The Blue Jays took 9 walks from the Reds pitching staff last night. That certainly contributed to their ability to come back. Bautista himself, batting ahead of Edwin, had 4 walks.
Yeah, it wasn't the only reason. The 16 hits and the 8 extra base hits, a big part of it. But that is a byproduct, those 9 walks, of a good approach at the plate. And you and I both noticed that last night, that the Blue Jay batters were having a better approach, hitting the ball with authority the other way, and taking their base on balls.
Encarnacion looked like he wanted to offer that pitch. He takes ball 4. So that'll bring Brett Lawrie to the plate, who set a career high with his 12th home run last night.
Well, this is one of those balls that is hit away. Ball's away, and he hits it the other way with authority. And again, that is a byproduct of having a good idea at the plate. They've been working with Brett about hitting the ball back through the middle to stay on those pitches. Shows you he's got plenty of strength to hit the ball the other way.
Lawrie with 3 hits in the game. Finished up 3 for 5 last night. He had 3 hits in the entire road trip prior to the last night's game. He was hit by a pitch in New York and did not play on Thursday. Came out of the ball game after his 2nd at bat in the game Wednesday night.
That was his first home run since June the 6th, when he hit number 11 against the Cardinals.
Off of Leake, and he is down near the mound. Lawrie will beat it out at first, and literally Brett Lawrie just knocked Mike Leake off the mound.
He got right up, and he's on the mound. He's saying he's okay. So I don't know if it hit him in the foot, in the ankle, or where. That ball comes back at you so quick. Watch where this one is. Away.
Looked like he might have got his glove on it. He threw his glove down there quickly. Watch his glove hand, and he swipes at it. He might have got his glove on it and kept it off his body. But in doing that, he lost his balance. Now it's 1st and 2nd. Blue Jays trying to answer quickly here as they're down 3-0. Colby Rasmus. Rasmus has picked it up quickly since coming off the disabled list. He had a couple of hits in last night's game. He was 2 for 4 with a walk. Had a double in a big 6th inning.
was worried about his timing when he came off the disabled list. I don't think there's anything wrong with his timing. Looks good at the plate. His double the other way was a sweet swing yesterday.
You know, it's almost a blessing that Rasmus has that kind of feeling about his timing. Not going to get too aggressive. When he's aware of that, he's just going to try to hit the ball. And you mentioned the great approach in that sixth inning, that bat when he hit the double.
It was a breaking ball that was away, and instead of trying to pull the ball, yank it to right field, he stayed right on it and drove it to left field.
Strike right at the knees to Rasmus.
That's one thing that I have noticed about this year's team offensively is they're not afraid to take a strike. 2-0. Last year you throw one, they're swinging before the pitcher lets go of the ball. This year they're not afraid to take a strike. And managers from the opposition have talked about that, about the Blue Jays, that, hey, they worked over our pitcher really well last night, meaning that they made him throw a lot of pitches. We saw Tanaka in New York at the beginning of this week, and Tanaka was only able to go 6 innings because the Blue Jays made him work.
Runners at first and second. Rasmus with a 1-2 count. Swings at that breaking ball and he strikes out. Third strikeout already for Mike Leake.
He's got a few ways to get you out. Slider is probably his best pitch, but this looks like a curveball, hard one. And Colby swings right over the top of it.
Eric Kratz will step in. And Kratz had the go-ahead double in the 8th inning. He pops this ball up over near the seats. Votto right to the edge of the railing, and he runs out of room. Kratz actually tied it up in the 8th inning with a double off the wall. He came into the ball game as a defensive replacement, and John Gibbons had him hitting in a good spot in the order.
Yeah, he entered after the double switch, and that was the third batter in the 9th inning off of Aroldis Chapman. And he got a slider down and in and didn't try and do too much with it, and it showed you how strong he is. Didn't have a full swing and hit it off the base of the wall in left field.
Kratz is behind 0-1. Kratz has 2 home runs against Mike Leake. He waved at that off-speed pitch, and he knew it about halfway through the swing. This is not a good pitch to hit.
Tough to lay off of that one. You try, but just go ahead and finish your swing.
Another breaking ball. Good job by Mesoraco to smother it at home. Mike Leake, we mentioned, he is one of 21 players at the time to go directly to the major leagues after he was drafted out of Arizona State. Terrific collegiate pitcher. They drafted him in 2009. He went to the Arizona Fall League and made the opening day roster in 2010.
First round pick, like you said, 8th overall in that draft in 2009. What a draft that was. That was the Mike Trout draft in the first round.
The inside, now 2-2. When you think about guys going straight to the big leagues, Blue Jays have had 2 of those players. Brian Milner in June of '78, and then John Olerud in June of '89, both going directly to the major leagues. That's quite a feat. Breaking ball, full count.
That's amazing when you sit down and you think about that. College players playing in college, and then the next thing you know, they're playing in the big leagues. Olerud, David Clyde. Remember David Clyde when He was drafted out of high school as the #1 overall pick and went right to the big leagues.
He went from high school to the big leagues in June of '73. Texas Rangers. 3-2, 1 out. Encarnacion at second, Laurie at first, and Kratz gets a piece of it, stays alive. But you mentioned Leake is from Arizona State, and they have had Bob Horner. They've also had Eddie Bain, a left-handed pitcher who went directly from Arizona State to the big leagues with the Twins. So we'll do it again. It's another 3-2 pitch. There's a drive into center. Hamilton backing up quickly, makes the play on it. 2 down.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. And by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
That is the Roebling Suspension Bridge. Built here in Cincinnati, it was copied off of the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City. The suspension bridge, that's where our TV crew walks across every day to get over to the ballpark.
They're staying in another state. We get along with them just fine, but they are staying in another state. Munenori Kawasaki, the second baseman, batting in the 8th spot. Mooney had 2 hits in last night's game, scored a couple of runs, had a sacrifice bunt. He did just about everything you could ask of a number 8 hitter.
Took pitches, got hits when he needed to, and we're not even talking about the great defensive play that he made last night to save a run for the Blue Jays.
In the 7th inning, with a runner at second and 2 outs, he took a hit away from Skip Schumacher, dove for the ball. The ball was past him in the outfield grass and made a terrific play to save a run.
This might be the absolute perfect guy to be batting 8th in a National League ballpark. Not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, will see a lot of pitches and really work the count. I mean, you're almost guaranteed to have a 3-2 count every time he's up at the plate. I mean, that's what it seems like, because he's fouling off tough pitches and he's got a good eye at the plate.
Strike 3 call. Kawasaki didn't like it. 4 strikeouts for Mike Leake. A promising inning ends up with the Blue Jays stranding a pair.
We show it because it's an incredible catch by Brock Holt. Stephen Vogt tags up and scores. Oakland has the lead. What a catch for Holt, though, as the A's lead the Red Sox 1-0. Back to Cincinnati.
Thank you, Jamie. Brock Holt has been a big surprise for the Red Sox. He has done a great job playing third. Now he has played some first base. He's played in the outfield, and he's doing a terrific job for them. The Athletics won last night 4-3, and they have maintained their lead. They have a 6-game lead over the Angels in the West. Seattle is 8 back, 2 over 500. The A's have won 4 straight. Boston has lost the first 2. They are 34-40, 6 games under 500.
Oakland's almost 20 games over 500 already.
46-28.
Wow.
That's a heck of a run. They're a good team. 23-14 at home, 23-14 on the road.
Impressive. They pitch it, they catch it, and they hit it.
Mike Leake, the pitcher, he can swing it. He is a very good hitter. Leake this season has a home run already. He's 4 for 29 for the season. But he's one of those guys that's just an overall good athlete. He has 3 career home runs.
He has had the most hits as a pitcher since he came into the big leagues in 2010.
He has 4 hits now. He's got 61 hits. He came in this season as a career .251 hitter.
That's very respectable for a pitcher. He looks like a hitter, doesn't he?
Right now he looks like a hitter that just struck out. 1 down. That'll bring Billy Hamilton to the plate. He's got 30 stolen bases already this season. That's second in the National League.
Well, he takes a big lead, and he's got acceleration, outstanding acceleration. And when you're a fielder trying to deal with this right here, it just makes it tough on you. Everything tries to speed up. You try to go a little bit faster, and I think what you have to do as a pitcher, I think you got to be aggressive with him, keep him off the bases. But once he's on there, you got to figure he's going to run. Concentrate on the next guy, because you're not going to throw him out.
Had a stolen base in last night's game. He stole third base, and it was a no contest stolen base. He's a switch hitter, batting right-handed against Happ. I spoke to Billy Hamilton today during batting practice, and I asked him about his stolen base mentor. He said, I never stole bases in high school. I didn't steal bases until I got into professional baseball. And then he said he met Delano DeShields, former Expo, who really became his base running instructor, and he has really turned into one of the best in the game. Off the end of the bat. Billy Hamilton, in 5 seasons in the minor leagues, had 395 stolen bases. For a kid that never stole a base in high school, he turned it around quickly.
Yeah, never stole a base in high school or didn't run in high school. Why?
He just said it wasn't part of his game. He hits this ball high and deep to center. Rasmus back near the track makes the catch. Hamilton's got a little pop in his bat as well.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful shot of Cincinnati, Ohio. This is a beautiful part of the country. Pat Tadler makes his home here. And we were out touring around today, went to a beautiful baseball museum, and we got to thank you for that. That was an awesome way to have lunch today.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It's the best personal memorabilia in the United States other than the Hall of Fame.
It's a personal collection of one man, and it's a terrific display. I mean, they have things that you don't see at Cooperstown. How about the bats? We saw bats from all the great hitters going back to the Ty Cobb era, and Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig's uniform hanging in the museum. It was terrific.
They had their own little section on the Cincinnati Reds, and saw some, I think it's the last 3, maybe 4 World Series rings that he has collected over the years. Bought them off of players who played on those teams, and the World Series trophy.
Todd Frazier drives it to right. Bautista has taken a couple of hits away from it already. 3 up, 3 down for Jay Happ in the second. We'll go to the third. Bautista ranging far and wide in right. And tweets and one-stop shop for everything Blue Jays. The Blue Jays Rundown. Only on Sportsnet.ca. The headline today, the Blue Jays recall Rasmussen and option Hendricks. Liam Hendricks made the start last night, lasted an inning in 2/3. The young left-hander Rob Rasmussen is with the ball club today.
And the Blue Jays, I think periodically throughout the rest of the season, they're going to do that, where they bring a pitcher up for a spot start to push everybody back and give them a little extra rest so they don't overextend themselves. They've got Marcus Stroman in the starting rotation, 23 years old. They've got Drew Hutchison, 23, coming off of Tommy John, and I know they want to watch their innings. So it makes a lot of sense.
Jay Happ, the pitcher, batting with a 1-2 count, and Happ, of course, spent 7 years in the National League with the Phillies and the Astros, so he has experience, and this time he'll look at strike 3, the breaking ball in there. 1 down here in the third. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. They have split the first 2 games of that series, and they will wrap it up tomorrow in the Bronx, the Orioles and the Yankees.
But Norris wins again today for Baltimore.
He's pitched well, hasn't he?
Really has.
There's a pop-up into foul ground. Todd Frazier in the coach's box makes the catch. Reyes has retired. He's 0 for 2 so far. After the leadoff walk and the single to start the second, Mike Leake has retired 5 straight.
Getting his breaking ball over now.
Melky Cabrera shows bunt, takes a strike. Takes a ball, it was down and in. 1-0. Blue Jays seeing Mike Leake just for the second time. Second time through the batting order, they'll have a little bit better idea about speed of his pitches, the spin on his breaking ball. There's a fly ball to left. Ryan Ludwig over quickly. Quick inning for Mike Leake. 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays go quietly. They have been retired 6 straight. Joey Votto will start things off when we come back. It's a pretty exclusive club. You go back to Fergie Jenkins, who won the Cy Young in '71. Larry Walker, an MVP with the Rockies in '97. Eric Gagne, terrific season in 2003.
You know, big time awards also. 3 MVPs and 2 Cy Youngs. It's not a lot of Canadian-born players. They're getting more and more and more get to the big leagues. But when they get here, they make a splash.
According to Stats Inc., there have been 246 Canadian-born players in the major leagues, and that's a pretty impressive list of award winners from a small sampling of players. Popped into the seats. Votto, 4-time All-Star, won a Gold Glove in 2011. Won a National League MVP when he hit .324 with 37 homers and 113 RBIs.
He also set a Reds record in walks with 135, which is a Reds record.
Starting this series, he had a career .312 batting average. Now, he's a terrific hitter, all-around hitter, does a lot of great things. He finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting in 2008 to Gio Soto, catcher for the Cubs.
Okay. Who do you want, the guy who won it or the guy who finished second?
Soto has never been able to recapture that form he had when he was the Rookie of the Year.
Isn't that funny how that works sometimes? The Bob Hamlin won the Rookie of the Year with Kansas City, and the guy who finished second, Manny Ramirez. I mean, it's an easy pick, isn't it?
Choo-choo, fouled up. No telling where a player's career is going to turn, but Joey Votto just getting better and better. The last couple of years, he's dealt with knee problems, and this year that knee problem led to a quad injury, and he is just fresh off the disabled list.
Such an intense player also. Never happy with his results, always trying to make himself better.
Jay Happ uses that fastball to strike out Joey Votto. Second strikeout for Happ. And that fastball has served him well.
Yeah, well, when he throws it and throws it for strikes, which he will, 68% of the time he's going to use that fastball. When he's throwing it for quality strikes, he's going to be just fine. Slider, curveball, and a changeup. Changeup to trying to get him to use that a little bit more at times. It's probably his 4th best pitch right now. The highest batting average is against that changeup. But his fastball slider combination's a winning combination in my mind.
Brandon Phillips goes after the first pitch and swings right through it. There's a changeup that he was out in front of. Phillips, like Votto, walked in the first inning. He came around to score one of the 3 Reds runs. A bouncing ball to short. Reyes takes his time. 2 quick outs here in the third.
And that's the same thing that happened in the first inning. And then he got a little bit defensive and lost his release point, walked the bases low, gave up a 2-run single. Get the first 2 here. Stay aggressive against Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce with the 3rd walk in a row issued with 2 outs by Jay Happ back in the first. There's a deep drive to right, and this one is way back, halfway up in right field for Jay Bruce, his 7th home run of the season.
Well, he stayed aggressive with Jay Bruce, but he hung him a breaking ball.
For Bruce, that's his 3rd home run against lefty pitching. He was hitting 176 against lefties coming into this game. Today he has a walk and a homer.
Not a lot of success, but when you get a breaking ball like that, and you see he's got the leg kick, knocks it into the sun deck in right field for the home run. It's pretty swing. He's good for 30 when he's healthy.
He's hit 30 in each of the last 3 seasons. He has hit 20 or more 6 straight years, and this is number 7.
You can see the leg kick. He picks that leg up and sets it right down for timing and just sweeps right through that breaking ball.
Brian Ludwig, the left fielder. He's behind 0-2. Looked like it was going to be a quick inning for Jay Happ. He retired the side in order in the second, got the first 2 out in the third, and then hung a breaking ball to Jay Bruce.
You know, when you're a pitcher and you throw a ball and you know you hung it, watch the reaction from Jay Happ, doesn't even look. He knows he's going to have to look at Joe West, the umpire, and ask for another baseball because the sound and where he threw it, he knew.
It's the 8th home run that Happ has allowed this season.
I never had to do that to a pitcher. I hit a fly ball. Didn't hit many home runs. Didn't hit it like that. As a batter, you swing and you make that kind of contact. You know it's a home run. You just put your head down and start your home run trot.
Yeah, you can tell by the crack of the bat, especially in a small yard like this ballpark. Don't have to turn around and look. Ludwig tried to check. He goes around. A couple of strikeouts in the inning, but the Reds get an insurance home run. Blue Jays are down by 4, middle of the order. To face Mike Leake, it'll be Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and Brett Lawrie when we come back to Cincinnati. June 29th when the Blue Jays take on the Chicago White Sox. Game time is 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays visor. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234 or log online to BlueJays.com to order your tickets for Blue Jays Visor Giveaway Day, Sunday, June 29th. It is the first day of summer, and you're going to need a visor, so make sure you come on out. Jose Bautista takes one down and away. He struck out. He was called out on strikes by Joe West, the home plate umpire, to end the first. Mike Leake, as we mentioned, came out of Arizona State. And he is just one of those guys that has been able to transition into the major leagues and never miss a beat. Mike Leake and Tim Lincecum, drafted in 2006, are the only active pitchers who have made at least 100 starts within 5 seasons of being drafted. That's quite an accomplishment.
It's his 6th year in the big leagues. He's not going to turn 27 until November. And when you look at him, he's not intimidating. He's not a real big guy, and his stuff doesn't wow you when you watch him, but he knows how to pitch. He understands the game of pitching.
Change speeds there and got Bautista to tap it foul. He's 5'10", and they list him at 190. That might be with a whole couple of pockets full of lead. He doesn't look like he's that big at all. Bautista dribbles one out in front of home. Leake throws to first in time. One down. Edwin Encarnacion has 23 home runs, and he's got a pattern where he really does most of his damage.
You know what I like about this board that we have right here? You can see the different colors of all the pitches that he has hit for home runs, and he has lit up the strike zone there. It's not just the fastballs that he's hitting out of the ballpark. He'll hit a changeup, a curve, a slider, wherever. Down and in is where he likes it. First of all, you can see that quadrant that's down and in. Anything there, he can hit it. He can hit hard. The home run he hit yesterday.
This is a ground ball. Phillips was on the shortstop side of second, and he's out.
The first home run, which was probably the biggest home run, really got the Jays back into it. It looked like it was a fastball away, and he had the plate coverage where he could go out there and get it and still pull it into the seats in left field.
Yeah, it's a diagonal hot streak for Encarnacion, starting down and in, and it goes up and away. And anything up out over the plate makes you believe it might be a high breaking ball, might be a cut fastball. Down and in, he just wears it out.
And it's the opposite of what pitchers are taught to get hitters out. Up and in, down and away. That's what pitchers are taught to get big league hitters out. It's just the opposite. Down and in and up and away. That's what Edwin has done this year.
So if pitchers make their pitches up and in and down and away, they should have success against Encarnacion. But he leads the majors with 23 home runs and 62 RBIs. Brett Lawrie had a single back on at the mound. He literally knocked Mike Leake off the mound in his first at bat in the second. He has the only Blue Jays hit. This is popped out of play over the screen into the seats. 29 degrees at the start of this game. It is a hot summer day for sure, and it just screams baseball in a great baseball city.
Doesn't it though? Bright and sunny, and fans are into the ball game. The ballpark is packed. There's nothing like it.
Roy strikes out. Another quick inning for Mike Leake. He's retired 9 straight as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Reds up by 4. Thank you, Jamie. Houston has sent Jake Buchanan to the mound, and Nick Odorizzi is on the mound for Tampa Bay. So that is a 1-0 game. Tampa Bay bringing up the rear in the American League East. It's been a long time since we've said that.
Yeah, things just haven't broke their way this year. They got the injuries to their starting rotation. After years of not having one guy going down all the time, they lost 3 of their starters right away beginning this season, trying to patch it together.
Catcher Devin Mesoraco will lead things off. He walked in his first at bat. It's one off the end of the bat into the seats down the right side. Mesoraco is one of many first-round picks the Reds have drafted and developed. Boy, when you can have first-round picks as your everyday position players, you're in pretty good shape. I spoke with Walt Jocketty, the GM of the Reds, this morning around the batting cage, and he talked about what a good job they've done. And Chris Buckley is the scouting director. He's the senior director of amateur scouting. This is his 9th season with the Reds. Buckley spent 17 years with the Blue Jays. Mesoraco is called out on strikes. 1 down.
The 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Ohio River just beyond the walls of this beautiful ballpark. And as summer has started, that river is going to be a very popular destination for a lot of boaters in the Cincinnati area. People get out on the river and enjoy cool water, nice breeze.
And the big paddle boats are down there also.
Ramon Santiago slaps one past the first baseman into right. A 1-out single for the shortstop.
You know, it's really interesting. You were talking about building through the draft and having to win the Reds, and they're making it work with their high draft picks. This is a small market team right here. They don't have a lot of money to spend like some of those other big markets, and they have to make their draft picks work. If you take a look at the starting lineup for the Reds this afternoon, players that are drafted in the first or the second round, almost the whole starting 9.
Mike Leake was a first-round pick. He is the starting pitcher. And Joey Votto's the first baseman. He's the second-round pick. Brandon Phillips was acquired in trade. Jay Bruce, the right fielder, first-rounder. Billy Hamilton, the center fielder, second-rounder.
Todd Frazier, third baseman, first-rounder.
The catcher, Devin Mesoraco, first-rounder. Cozart, regular shortstop, second-rounder. They've done a terrific job.
Yeah, you got to make those. You got to hit them. You got to hit on those picks where you're picking at the top of the draft.
Mike Leake takes it outside.
Develop them through your farm system, get them to the big leagues, and you can have that constant turnover.
And it's not like they have been finishing in the basement every year, getting real high draft picks. They've just done a good job of scouting.
I think they might take the bunt off here, 1-1. Good hitter at the plate. And Mike Leake.
I think they'll ask him to bunt once more. He squares early. Now he's showing bunt and slaps it through the middle. You were right on the money. Mike Leake is a heck of a hitter. He squared early and then used the old Baltimore chop. They got the single up the middle.
He got the corners charging, and then the second baseman trying to hustle over to cover first base, and he just hit it right where he would have been standing. Here comes Brett Lawrie. He sees this, and then here he comes charging. He goes, uh-oh, please don't hit it right at me, because he's about 45 feet from the pitcher. But look at that big hole that Mike Leake has to shoot for. And he makes it work, sending the runner over to third base.
Terrific athlete, and he knew exactly what he was doing with that bat. So now it's first and third, 1 out. Back to the top of the order, Billy Hamilton. He's 0 for 2 so far. He takes a big rip and fouls it back. Hamilton drove Colby Rasmus to the warning track in center field in his at bat in the second. This is a tough spot for the Blue Jays. They're playing for a double play ball. Hamilton runs well. The squeeze is on, and Hamilton bunts it foul. Santiago had broke from third. Hamilton got a piece of it and is able to foul the ball off.
Not a bad idea right there to score that extra run.
Brian Price in this series has been aggressive. We saw an 0-2 hit and run in last night's game. And here he tries to squeeze home an extra run.
Watch the runner at third. As soon as that pitcher gets ready to release the ball, you take off. And it's the batter's job to get the ball down. Hamilton misses that. Blue Jays catch a break.
There's a base hit through the right side. Santiago comes in to score. Leake's going first to third, and he'll slide in safely.
He's an athlete, that Mike Leake. Did he get the scouting report that Jose Bautista is playing right field for the Blue Jays? He's got one of the better arms in the outfield, and it might have taken Bautista by surprise just a little bit. He had trouble getting the ball out of his glove once he got to it, but Leake never hesitated at first base. Ball squibs through the right side, and watch Leake. This is today's starting pitcher. He's running hard. He's got his head down, and watch this slide. How about that?
Turns around to see the play behind him, and he goes first to third. He got a base hit to set up that situation for Hamilton, and Hamilton picks up the RBI, his 23rd of the season. And now he's a threat to run. Todd Frazier has lined out twice to right field. There goes Hamilton, and Kratz will throw from his knees. A strong throw. Well, Kratz made a terrific throw right over the bag at second, but Hamilton got a great jump at first.
Yeah, where there was no chance, Eric Kratz gave the Blue Jays a chance right there. He doesn't mind throwing from his knees. Feels like he's a little bit quicker. Releases this ball, and it's right there. But with the great speed of Hamilton, right to the bag. That's what you want to do when you slide into a base. Go right to the bag.
31 steals for Hamilton. That'll force the Blue Jays infield in. Frazier swings and misses. D. Gordon of the Dodgers leads the National League with 38 stolen bases. Hamilton now has 31. He is second. But blocked by Kratz. The Reds scored a run on a pass ball in the first inning. And they scored 3 runs on 1 hit in the first. Kratz committing his first pass ball of the season.
They had 2 hits total coming into this inning against Jay Happ.
There's a deep drive to center. Rasmus back at the track, at the wall. He makes the catch. Mike Leake tags. Billy Hamilton making a turn around third. They had thoughts of scoring on the sac fly to center. So Leake comes in to score. Frazier picks up the RBI, and Hamilton ends up at third.
I thought that he had an excellent chance of trying to score from second base on a fly ball. Watch the runner at second base. The guy at third, he's going to score easily. But Hamilton measures it, sees he catches it, and he starts making his turn, thinking about trying to score. But he is held up by Steve Smith. Thought he had an excellent chance. If they wanted to force the issue right there, they want to make Kawasaki try and throw him out.
Joey Votto has walked and struck out. 2 runs in this inning. It's now a 6-0 lead for Cincinnati.
Look at the lead that Billy Hamilton can get at third base. Brett Laurie now finally realizing that he can get off. You got a left-handed pitcher on the mound, so his back is to the runner. He's going out of the stretch. He can get as far off the third base as he wants.
Yeah, he can get as far off as Laurie is, that's for sure. Hamilton will walk down the third baseline, and as soon as Happ gets set, Votto fouls it up. The Reds with 2 more runs here in the 4th inning. And it all started with a 1-out hit from the number 8 hitter, Ramon Santiago. And then Mike Leake, showing bunt, pulled the bat back and singled into center. There's a drive to left field. Melky Cabrera battling the sun. It's over his head off the wall. Votto is headed to second. The throw is not in time. Joey Votto, an opposite field RBI double.
Joey Votto is an excellent hitter because he can take the ball the other way with authority. You can see that slider down and away. He stays on it and drives it over the head of Melky Cabrera. He hits the ball from foul line to foul line. That's why he is such a good hitter. And you can see where his hits have gone this year. 15 to left, 20 to center. Only 12 balls have been pulled to right field. And look where his home runs have been. 2 each to all 3 of the fields here. 2 to left, 2 to center, and 2 to right. He's just a good hitter. Hard to keep him down.
7-0 Reds. Brandon Phillips 0 for 1 with a walk. Jay Happ has thrown a lot of pitches. He's thrown 90 pitches with 2 outs in the 4th. Foul back. 1-2 to the Reds' second baseman. Blue Jays with that terrific comeback last night. You just sense that maybe that would lead to some sort of run, and then Jay Happ with 3 2-out walks in the first kind of took all that momentum right out of him.
I'm with you on that one. After 2 quick outs, then he just lost the strike zone, and it's been a struggle ever since. 3 in the first, 1 in the third, 3 more here in the 4th inning. 36 pitches for Jay in the 1st inning, 21 balls and 15 strikes. And John Gibbons needs some length this afternoon. Sometimes you have to take it for the team.
There's a drive to left. Melky Cabrera looking up. This ball is off the wall. Votto comes in to score. Phillips is headed for second. He's in there with the slide. Brandon Phillips with his first hit of the afternoon. 5 hits in the inning.
3 singles, and for Brandon Phillips, the second double. Watch where this pitch is. It's a high breaking ball out over the plate, and Brandon Phillips thinks he has a home run. When it stays in the ballpark, Melky Cabrera gets over, gloves it. They can't get Phillips at second.
19th double of the season, back-to-back doubles. Votto and Phillips here in the 4th. 8 runs on 7 hits for the Reds. Blue Jays have just 1 hit, an infield hit off the bat of Brett Laurie. Rob Rasmussen just recalled from AAA Buffalo. He arrived here in Cincinnati last night. Jay Bruce, another big day. He walked and scored in the first and hit a solo home run in the third. And he homered in last night's game as well. Bruce had 2 hits in the 8-run second inning in last night's game.
On 2 pitches. Not right after the home run was the first pitch. Breaking ball from Jay Happ. That was just last inning.
Jay Happ, his last time out at Baltimore, picked up the win. He went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, just 1 run. And there's strike 3. That ends the inning, but the Reds add 4 more. It's 8-0 as we head to the 5th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker. And Ontario. First round of pool play is wrapping up, so make sure you check it out. Argentina versus Iran tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. Blue Jay fans had quite a night here last night. They were down early, but had a lot to cheer about late.
They got into it big time yesterday. They were out here early for batting practice. The Blue Jay fans hooting and hollering on their team. I don't know if 2 days in a row, that's a lot to ask for the Blue Jays.
8 runs down last night. That's where they find themselves here in the 5th. Mike Leake has been terrific. He's done a great job of mixing up his pitches, and it's certainly different than his 3 previous starts in the month of June.
Well, I think for the Blue Jays to get back in it, they're going to have to hit their way back. Last night, the Reds did them a big favor by walking 9 batters to help out. I don't think you're going to get that this afternoon from Mike Leake.
Bobby Rasmus fights it off and fouls it up the first baseline.
Leake throws too many strikes with too many pitches. So I was watching John Gibbons and Kevin Seitzer in between that inning while the Blue Jays were getting ready, and they were telling them, go ahead and swing away. No taking a strike now, even though you're down 8-0. You're going to have to get it going.
There's a ball driven deep to center field. Billy Hamilton easily makes the catch in front of the 404 sign in center.
The 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful downtown Cincinnati, a couple of blocks away from the ballpark, right on the Ohio River, and it's a gorgeous afternoon. Eric Kratz, the catcher, flied out to center field his first time up. Well, you made a good point about the approach. Kevin Seitzer and John Gibbons talking about, well, should we walk? Well, he's not walking anybody, so you go up there swinging. You got to hit your way back into this game.
That's the feeling I have this afternoon, that they're going to have to pound the baseball. No free passes, not with Mike Leake out there.
Pulled on the ground. Shortstop Ramon Santiago across the diamond in time. 2 down. That's 11 straight retired by Mike Leake. The last man to reach was Brett Laurie in the second. Edwin Encarnacion walked to start the inning, then Laurie singled, and those are the only 2 base runners the Blue Jays have had all afternoon.
That's it right there. You know, it looks like Jay Happ's afternoon is over. His spot is the on-deck circle right now. If he's not in this ball game, he's sitting down on that bench. You see Rasmussen, he's probably going to be into this game.
Adam Lind has come out on deck. I think he's just standing out there because the Blue Jays need somebody to stand out there. I don't think they would use him to pinch hit in this situation just yet. Kawasaki takes another pitch inside. It's 2-1. Now 3-1.
You know, I see Steve Tollison moving around out there also down in that dugout, that if they do a pitching change, they'll probably double switch with Kawasaki if he gets on. A lot of options in the National League game here.
Three and two outs. Breaking ball, ball 4. Curious pitch from Mike Leake. Kawasaki will walk. And now Lind is going to hit here. We are in the 5th inning. So Lind will come to the plate as a pinch hitter. He had a pinch hit single in last night's game. Blue Jays did a terrific job pinch hitting. Lind had the pinch hit RBI single, and then Juan Francisco had a pinch hit 2-run homer.
Yeah, when you're down by 8 runs and you come back to win, you're going to have plenty of heroes, and you're going to have guys come off the bench and do their thing. Blue Jays pushed the right buttons last night.
Kawasaki's walk with 2 out snaps a streak of 12 or 11 straight retired by Mike Leake. He's the first base runner to reach for the Jays since the 2nd. Inside, ball and a strike to Adam Lind. There's a base hit for Lind. Kawasaki stopped at second, and then Jay Bruce overran the ball. Kawasaki made a good turn, but he stopped clearly, and that should be an error on Bruce to allow Kawasaki to move to third. So Lind, for a 2nd consecutive game, has a pinch single, and he'll leave in favor of a pinch runner. But first, there's that good stroke for Lind.
Base hit, just like last night's game, and Kawasaki see him stop, and this is the first error this season on Jay Bruce in right field. Ball just not right by him. Kawasaki wasn't going anywhere.
No, he had stopped at second, and obviously it's an error on the right fielder. So back to the top of the order. Marcus Stroman into pinch run for Lind. Stroman entered the game as a pinch runner last night. First pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Reyes with a big swing and foul it right off his knee.
That is a slider that looked like it was going to be a ball. So Reyes went ahead and swung. Watch where this ball hits him. Sweeping, breaking ball right off the back knee. A lot of times you'll see a breaking ball like this where the batter gets out in front, he hits it off his front leg. That time off the back knee. You don't see that very often.
No, and it's really caught him right flush on top of that knee. Mike Frostad, the assistant trainer, out to attend to Reyes. He appears to be okay. Reyes, since hitting that home run Tuesday night in New York on the first pitch of the ball game, has got 1 for 21.
A lot of fly balls to left field, some pop-ups. He's already had a pop-up to the third baseman.
Another pitch right inside, same spot.
Another breaking ball.
Blue Jays have 2 hits against Mike Leake. First and third, 2 outs, and Reyes behind 0-2. Way outside. Melky Cabrera is on deck if Reyes can reach base. Another pop-up, this one behind second. Ramon Santiago, the shortstop, makes the catch on the edge of the grass. The Blue Jays strand a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's all Cincinnati. Off his leg, and he's limping off the field. His day has come to an end. Reyes is out of the ball game, and he has played every day since coming off the disabled list, and he found the ball off his back leg. So he's out of the game. Steve Thomason takes over defensively at shortstop. He comes off the bench, and with the pinch hitter Lynn batting for the pitcher Jay Happ, it'll be the young left-hander Rob Rasmussen, just called up from AAA Buffalo, making his 5th appearance.
Second stint with the Blue Jays this season. There are his numbers in 4 games with Toronto, averaging 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He'll throw the curveball late in the count to try and get the strikeout. Slider tendency is to use it a little bit earlier in the count. He's got a good arm. Doesn't look like he can throw very hard, but he can rush it up there. They got him from the Phillies along with Eric Kratz.
Ryan Ludwig goes after the first pitch. This ball is over near the rail. Encarnacion has room, and he makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Rasmussen here in the 5th. Catcher Devin Mesoraco will step in. That crowd on hand as it's Ken Griffey Jr. bobblehead day here in Cincinnati. We gave away the bobblehead of Ken Griffey Jr. Finished up his career with the Reds. Mesoraco goes after the first pitch, and Rasmus slides over into the alley, makes the catch. 2 down. Jay Happ had a rough outing here this afternoon in Cincinnati. He goes just 4 innings, given up 7 hits. He walked 4, 3 of those coming. All 4 of those coming with 2 outs in the first inning.
Yeah, that was the shocker, and that really pushed his pitch count up. Now, in that first inning, 36 pitches again, 21 balls, and only 15 strikes in the first inning. He ended up walking 4. Those were the only 4 he ended up walking. 5 strikeouts, 99 pitches to get through 4 innings. We were talking at the beginning of the game that they need 7, 8 innings out of their starter this afternoon after the short bullpen last night. And the relievers, all the relievers and pitchers they needed yesterday. 4 innings, going to put a little strain on that bullpen this afternoon.
Well, when you look at the Blue Jays' upcoming schedule after the game tomorrow, they'll go home to take on the Yankees for 3, then the White Sox for 4, before they have an off day on the 30th of June. So the pitching is going to be challenged here for the next 10, 12 days. Rasmussen adding another left-hander with Cecil on the disabled list. There's that good curveball, strike 3. Good inning for Rob Rasmussen. Sets down the Reds in order. We'll go to the 6th. Blue Jays got a big hole to dig out of. Jose Bautista, Jose Reyes, Edwin Encarnacion starters for the American League. Fans are allowed to vote a maximum of 35 times per email address. Vote early, vote often. Vote Blue Jays at BlueJays.com. Edwin Encarnacion is trailing in the voting for the American League DH spot. So make sure you log on and punch out 35 votes. You can do that every time you log on to BlueJays.com. So make sure you do that. Jose Bautista, at last count, had the lead overall in the voting.
If you got nothing to do, maybe sit at your computer and try and get those Blue Jays who are most deserving into that All-Star game.
So it will be 2, 3, and 4 for the Jays as they face Mike Leake. Leake has allowed no runs on 2 hits.
That's a nice little cutter that just gets right in underneath the bats to a lot of those left-handers. You want to throw that ball right under their hands.
Just the slightest movement and just enough to get a swing and a miss. Mike Leake is 4-6 for the season with a .380 earned run average. Last year, he won 14 games in 31 starts. Melky drives this to left. Ryan Ludwig back, and he lost it in the sun. Melky Cabrera is headed for second. He better hurry, and they cut it off. Ryan Ludwig got right to the warning track, saw the baseball, and then lost it in the sun as he was looking directly back into the sun.
Perfect time for Melky Cabrera to go the other way. Fastball that is up, and he inside outs it to left field. Looked like Ludwig, if he just kept his glove up there, he would have had it. You see, he pulls it back in. I mean, that would have been a circus catch if he did find his glove.
That's got to be a helpless feeling.
Oh, I remember playing left field in Oakland, which is probably the worst field in baseball during day games, especially late in the year. Fly ball to left field and went up. I lost it, hit me right in the chest. I had a purple mark right on my chest, and Gorman Thomas was crushing me after the game, making so much fun of me.
Jose Bautista bounces it. Big hop for Santiago at short. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Certainly a beautiful ballpark. And the Reds have taken a commanding lead here. And Michael Leake showing no signs that he's going to cough it up.
See that saying right there that we had that last shot there on the outside of the ballpark? That was the sign off by Joe Nuxall right there. Every night, this is the old left-hander rounding third and heading for home. And they thought so much of Joe that they put that outside the ballpark for everybody to see when they're leaving the ballpark. So cool.
He was an iconic player here. Certainly made his debut, I believe, as a 15-year-old.
15-year-old, that's right.
Marty Brenneman, Joe Nuxall, Wade Hoyt. Great voices of the Reds over the years.
From Hamilton, Ohio, Hamilton Joe.
Marty Brenneman, of course, still the radio voice of the Reds. And, well, you want to know anything about the Reds, he's seen it all over the last 40 years. He and his son, Tom, both work on the broadcasts here in Cincinnati.
Tommy's off this weekend. Usually does the television and then pinch hits for his dad when his time is off.
3-1 to Encarnacion. Edwin has walked and grounded out. Leads the majors with 62 RBIs as we are wrapping up the month of June. Hits this one into center field. Billy Hamilton in quickly. 2 down. Well, of course, there's such great history with the Cincinnati Reds that there's a museum right next door. Pete Rose, he signs his autograph with the Hit King. He is a local boy that was a star for the Reds. 4,192 hits.
See all those baseballs on the wall right there? That represents every hit that Pete Rose got in the big leagues. 4,256 baseballs hanging in the Hall of Fame here in honoring Pete Rose.
Yeah, it's quite a rich tradition of Reds baseball, and next door to this ballpark is a terrific Reds museum. Brett Laurie hits it off the end of the bat. It's a foot race between Laurie and Leake gets there. Mike Leake, a terrific athlete. We've seen it all afternoon. He can pitch, he can hit, and he can field. Blue Jays leave a base runner. Will go to the bottom of the 6th. For free, it's Sportsnet Magazine's 2014 Stanley Cup Digital Edition. Go behind the scenes of the Kings' victory with photos, stories, and more. Get the free edition for your tablet now at sportsnet.ca. Great opportunity to look inside the Stanley Cup final and the champion LA Kings. Blue Jays down 8-0. Mike Leake, the pitcher, has been in total control this afternoon.
Plenty to cheer about last night for these Blue Jay fans. Just haven't given them much to get up and get crazy over this afternoon. Just 3 base hits. An infield hit and the ball that was lost in the sun.
Mike Leake has a base hit. He went first to third on a base hit to right and scored. He was in a 4-run 4th inning. .95 miles an hour. Big fastball in a small package from Rob Rasmussen.
Yeah, not a real big guy, but he's got a good arm action. Stays back over that rubber. 95 on that fastball.
Mike Leake looks like a position player swinging the bat.
You might want to think about bending one right here. There was your 0-2 fastball. That was your one to hit right there, Mike. Throw him a breaking ball.
There's a breaking ball. 1 down here in the 6th. Take a look at the AL East standings. The Blue Jays atop the East. The Yankees lost today in New York to the Orioles. So as we speak, the Yankees are 2 games back. The Orioles are 3 back. They are separated by a single game. Then the Red Sox and the Rays. So you can bet things are going to change and jam up.
Yeah, and after tomorrow's ball game here at Cincinnati, the Blue Jays finally get to go home, and they'll have a chance for redemption against the Yankees. A little payback opportunity.
How about the Oakland A's? They have a 1-0 lead over the Boston Red Sox, and they're in the 8th. Jesse Chavez, 7 innings, 3 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, no runs. Leads 1-0. Hamilton pulls it foul outside of third.
Oh, I never saw that coming from Jesse Chavez. We thought he was okay when he pitched for the Blue Jays. Spot starter.
Swing man, go back and forth.
Right.
He's 6-4 with a .271 earned run average. Who knew?
What is it? If you put the uniform on of the Oakland A's, you turn into Cy Young.
Another strikeout for Rasmussen. 3 now.
Finger cooked tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at bostonpizza.com. Proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays.
We told you they'd be out on the river. Nice afternoon. First day of summer, June 21st. It's the Ohio River just beyond the stadium here in right field. Great day to enjoy the sun and the cool waters of the Ohio River. Todd Frazier. He's hit the ball hard 3 times this afternoon. Has a sacrifice fly.
Bautista's made a couple of nice plays against him in right field. Went back to the warning track in the first inning and then came in the second inning. Took a hit away from him. They just don't have a read right now on Rod Rasmussen.
Rasmussen has retired 5 straight since coming into the game. He also has picked up 3 strikeouts. Breaking ball hit to second. Kawasaki is there. 6 up, 6 down for the young left-hander. We've played 6 here in Cincinnati, and the Reds trying to even the series at a game apiece. Blue Jays follow Shai Davidi, taking you beyond the bases with analysis and expert opinion. Shai Davidi, MLB Insider only on Sportsnet.ca. And the insiders have been digging around trying to find just exactly what's up with the Blue Jays and the possibility of adding some players here as we close in toward the 1st of July. And that July 31st deadline will be here before you know it.
Wasn't there a rumor going around? Well, not a rumor, because they saw him there. David Price's start. There was a bunch of scouts from different teams. I think 4 or 5 teams at his last start.
Yeah, and everybody's got to be there. You got to make sure that you cover all the bases, if you will. And if you have a match with a team when you're trying to add a position player, possibly, maybe a pitcher.
There's other variations and reasons why trades happen. I don't think David Price is coming into the American League East.
No.
Would you trade within your division and then have to face him for the next couple of years?
Not at all. And you know what? You have the option of trading him to the other team. There's a deep drive to right. Jay Bruce is back, and Colby Erasmus has hit it out. His 10th of the season is a leadoff home run here in the 7th. Blue Jays are finally on the board.
You know, really interesting sequence right there from Mike Leake. He threw a couple of breaking balls to Colby Rasmus, and he swung right through him. And then 0-2, it looked like he tried to slip a fastball by him. Big mistake against Rasmus, who's a low fastball hitter. Look at that right there, right where he likes it, with 2 strikes. After he threw a couple of breaking balls and he swung right through him.
Yeah, you can't sneak a fastball by Colby Rasmus. It's impossible. And he hammered that ball, his 10th of the season.
Pulls the hands
quick swing, huh?
Yeah. And thought he was on the defensive, Mike Leake did, after he threw a couple of breaking balls and got ahead 0-2. Shadows are starting to play a major part of this ballgame for hitters. You throw that guy a fastball, you're asking for trouble.
Grant swings right through that fastball. That home run for Rasmus was the 100th home run for the Blue Jays this season. They lead the majors in that department, of course. Number 10 for Rasmus, number 100 for the Blue Jays. Leake makes another nice play. 1 down. Rogers customers can watch the Blue Jays on Sportsnet live on your smartphone. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com/sports to get started.
I've been impressed with Mike Leake, his all-around game. As a pitcher, he's only given up the 1 run, that home run. His hitting, he's got a base hit today. His base running, he went 1st to 3rd on none other than Jose Bautista on a base hit to right field. Now his fielding
Coming into this season, he has a 42-29 record. Kawasaki lines it right to the third baseman. Frazier, 2 down. Blue Jays have 6 players with 10 or more home runs this season. The only club in baseball that can boast that. And it's been a balanced attack, and that was the surprising aspect of their most recent slump. Of course, Rasmus is just back off the disabled list, so he was absent for a while.
And Colby joins that group with that home run that we just saw. That's his 10th in the season.
Steve Thomason batting in the pitcher spot, entered the game defensively in the 6th. This is his first at bat.
Colby now has 25 hits here at Great American Ballpark. That's the most of any ballpark except the 2 teams he played for, St. Louis and Toronto. Loves it here.
It is a hitter's paradise. You don't have to pull it. You don't have to hit it hard. You get it in the air. It's got a chance to go. This is in the air, but it's going to be a pop-up in foul ground. Joey Votto takes the catch after the leadoff home run. Leake retires 3 in a row. Colby Rasmus puts the Jays on the board with his 10th home run of the season. A deep shot to the seats in right. The Milwaukee Brewers. It's a 1:07 p.m. start. Come on down early and enjoy the pregame festivities happening outside of Rogers Center. First 20,000 fans inside will receive a Blue Jays bucket cap. Call the Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234 or log online at bluejays.com. Canada Day presented by Honda, Tuesday, July 1st. Get to see the Milwaukee Brewers in town, and that's the team the Reds are chasing right now. The Brewers have a 5.5 game lead over the Cardinals and an 8.5 game lead over the Cincinnati Reds. So Joey Votto will lead things off against Rob Rasmussen. And he takes the first pitch and whips it into center field. Joey Votto has a couple of hits in 3 trips. He's also walked.
Stay right inside on that one. His hands are inside the ball, and the barrel's going to follow right there. We showed you the spray chart earlier today that most of his hits go to left and center field. That time, a pretty good approach against a left-hander.
Rob Rasmussen has pitched 2 innings here, and the longest stint he had in AAA Buffalo was 2 innings. And for the season in AAA, he pitched a total of 24 innings in 19 games, so he hasn't been stretched out much. Fires a strike to Brandon Phillips.
His spot in the batting order leads off next inning, so they want to get him through this inning so they can pinch hit for him.
Good changeup really fooled Phillips. Tell you what, I've been impressed with Rasmussen. You go back to his earlier stint with the Blue Jays, he fared fairly well and then had a real bad outing right at the end of his run with the Jays. In fact, he really got overwhelmed in his last appearance where he was trying to throw too hard.
Yeah, and he had a lot of walks and missed the strike zone. His first game in the big leagues, he had to face none other than David Ortiz in Fenway Park, and he handled him.
Came in and just faced the one batter, Ortiz, and got him out. He's got a pretty good fastball. Of course, the Blue Jays need some help from the left side in their bullpen. Aaron Luke did not pitch in the game last night. Brett Cecil is on the disabled list, so Rasmussen fills that void. Fly ball to right. Bautista jogging over it near the line. Drive of the Game is brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Now in his 7th year in the big league, Jay Bruce is a home run hitter. You can see with that sweet swing right there, Bruce, why he can power the ball out of the outfield. It's his 7th home run of the season and 171st Major League home run as he just starts his 7th season in the big leagues. Pretty impressive numbers.
That home run he hit came against Jay Happ. And over the last 5 seasons, Jay Bruce has hit 47 home runs against lefty pitching. That's the most by any batter in the major leagues, including Albert Pujols, Jose Bautista, Curtis Granderson, Mark Teixeira, and Soriano. He's hit more home runs than all those sluggers against lefty pitching.
Why does he have the reputation that he can't hit lefties then? They say he can't hit lefties. That's pretty impressive.
47 home runs. Leads the majors over the last 7 years against lefty pitching. Bouncing ball. Kawasaki will flip to Thomason for the force, and that's all they'll get. Over that span of 5 seasons, Bruce has hit 47. Pujols has hit 44. Bautista 38, Granderson 38, Teixeira and Soriano also 38. So Jay Bruce is the king of home runs against lefty pitching.
Those are all well-known names that you were just mentioning. Jay Bruce really isn't a household name outside of Cincinnati.
So Bruce is aboard on the fielder's choice. Now there are 2 outs. Joey Votto was retired 4-6. Now Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig had the 2-run single in the first. That got the Reds off and running today. Changeup away, 2-0. Ryan Ludwig is now 35 years old. He was drafted out of UNLV by Oakland in 1999. He was a 2nd-round pick. He had a great run with the Cardinals. In 2008, he was an All-Star and the Silver Slugger with St. Louis. He hit .299 with 37 homers and 113 RBIs.
He's been battling injuries his whole career. When he's healthy, he has put up some pretty decent numbers.
He's with the Cardinals from 2007 to middle of 2010 when he was traded to the Padres. Two and two. This should be the final inning for Rasmussen. He has pitched 2 2/3, trying to close out the 7th. His spot in the batting order is first in the 8th. Now it's a full count. Jay Bruce at first will be running on the pitch. Cincinnati with an 8-1 lead. Devin Mesoraco, the catcher, will be next if Ludwig can reach. There's a walk. Comes with 2 outs.
Canon's Best in Glass sales event. Performance cameras and lenses at the season's best prices. Visit canon.ca/bestinglass.
Good way to spend your afternoon at the ballpark, enjoying some good food from the concession stands. Erik Kratz went to the mound. I think he sensed that Rob Rasmussen's kind of running out of gas here. He had a great start to this outing. Retired the first 6 batters he faced. He's pitching in his 3rd inning of relief, and he hasn't done that this season.
And he is running out of gas. So you go out there, you give him a little bit of a breather, let him catch his breath. You can see how he slowed things down with that runner at 2nd and 1st.
The catcher, Devin Mesoraco, for 2 with a walk. Goes after the first pitch.
Maybe you back off just a little bit. Instead of throwing maximum effort, you throw more change-ups. Take a little something off.
There's a high fly ball. Melky Cabrera didn't see it initially off the bat. He's at the wall, and it's gone. Devin Mesoraco, his 2nd home run of the series, is a 3-run shot, his 12th home run of the season.
Three more RBIs also for Mesoraco. Get the ball airborne in this ballpark, and you've got a chance. Right there. Watch the follow through and the finish, a high finish. He knows he has a chance in this ballpark. Rasmussen hoping that Cabrera can get over and make it. Maybe it stays in, but it just ends up in the first row. You know, that's going to hurt his line as a pitcher. But Rasmussen has pitched great. Leake Walker looks like he's going to make his way out there to possibly give him a little bit of a blow also.
Yeah, it's just a situation with Happ going 4 innings. Rasmussen was asked to give them 3. He had a perfect 2 innings. He retired all 6 batters he's faced, and then when he was asked to extend the outing another inning, it caught up to him. The Roberto Alomar and Friends Charity Home Run Derby is in support of Jays Care Foundation. It'll take place Sunday, July 6th at beautiful Matt Bailey Stadium in Vancouver. Join Roberto Alomar, Jesse Barfield, Lloyd Mosby, and Devon White. Take batting practice with some Blue Jays legends. For more information, you can log on to BlueJays.com/JaysCare and find out about the Roberto Alomar and Friends Charity Home Run Derby. Santiago with the single to center, and now Mike Leake, the pitcher. He has a couple of strikeouts. He's singled. There you see Aaron Loop warming up.
And they just want 1 inning out of Loop. So they got to get through this one. Still throwing hard, 93 miles an hour, but it's 36 pitches. He's just not used to that.
In his previous inning of work back on the 29th of May, he threw 25 pitches in 2/3 of an inning, and he was just wild. Really wasn't on his game. Here he strikes out the pitcher. That ends the inning, but Rob Rasmussen gives up a 3-run home run to Devin Mesoraco, and will go to the top of the 8th. Even 1 run on 5 hits for both of those ball clubs, and they have played tough baseball against one another all season long. Stephen Vogt played right field, and now he moved behind the plate. He's done a terrific job since he's rejoined the A's. He's got 2 more hits today.
Coming out of nowhere. Guys, they've got it working out there in Oakland.
So the pitcher's spot is due up. It'll be Josh Thole batting for Rob Rasmussen here in the 8th. Thole takes the first pitch strike. 295 for Thole this season. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Acer, official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, Tony gets an opportunity to swing the bat. He will catch tomorrow as R.A. Dickey goes to the mound. He pulls this one to second base. Phillips waits on Votto to get there and throws out Toller.
Always important to get an at-bat before your schedule starts. Your timing issues that you would have.
Well, Mike Leake has been a tough opponent for the Blue Jay hitters. Tomorrow it even gets tougher. Johnny Cueto, who leads baseball with a 192 earned run average, will go to the mound. He's got a 6-5 record, and he has been stingy all season long.
Same type of pitcher like Mike Leake. Not overpowering. He has it when he needs to. He can reach back for a little something more, but he's more of a pitcher. Change-up, uses curveball, spots his fastball, goes in and out like those last few pitches right there by Mike Leake.
The league has hit 169 against Johnny Cueto. He has 111 strikeouts. That ball is bounced right back to the mound. Cabrera is out. 2 down here in the 8th. Now it's time for the play of the game. It's brought to you by Hungry Man. Try new pulled pork.
Todd Frazier, the first inning, thinks he has extra bases against Jay Happ when he smokes this ball to right field. But watch Jose run right through that ball, reach his glove up there, and haul it in for the play. He's been making plays like that all season long for the Blue Jays at right field.
Jose Bautista has not reached base today. Hits that one to short. Santiago takes his time. Quick inning for Leake in the 8th. Blue Jays go quietly in their half of the 8th. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker. Sportsnet, and you can keep up to speed on everything that's Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have made some defensive changes as Jose Bautista was retired to end the inning. First of all, Aaron Loop is into the ball game to pitch the 8th inning, taking over for Rob Rasmussen, making his 33rd appearance of the season.
2-1, 367 earned run average for Loop. Lefties hitting 167 against Aaron. Last worked a couple of days ago in New York, no decision. An inning, 2 hits and an earned run in that game. Needs to throw strikes. He'll face the top of the lineup. 33 games now for Aaron Luke as he enters first time in this series.
Brett Laurie moves to second base as Munenori Kawasaki goes from second to short. Juan Francisco takes over at third. Steve Thomason, who was at shortstop, takes over in right for Bautista, and Jose is out of the game. Billy Hamilton has gone 1 for 4. Now he's behind 0-2. Luke knocks it down. He recovers in time to throw out Hamilton. Cincinnati has scored 11 runs on 10 hits. And they've averaged 8.5 runs per game over their last 6 games, including today. And that's time to swing the bats a little bit. They got Joey Votto back. And that made a big difference for Brian Price, the manager.
Yeah, they're getting healthy. Jay Bruce also spent some time on the disabled list this season for the Reds. He's homered today. And you get Votto back. I mean, when you take your 3rd best hitter and your 5th place hitter out of the lineup, that's bound to keep you from scoring runs.
Sooner or later, it'll catch up to you, that's for sure. Todd Frazier has an RBI. And now he's behind 0-2. Mentioned Frazier hit that line drive that Bautista made a good play on early in the ball game. That was in the 1st.
It's a good player. 16 home runs for a 3rd baseman. Pretty impressive. And 41 RBIs. Got a chance to say hello to him around the batting cage today. He's a lot bigger than I thought.
He's 28 years old now, and he too. We've been talking about draft picks and 1st-round picks. He's another 1st-round pick of the Reds. reaches for this and pops it into right center. Long run for Erasmus. He gets there. The Reds are in third place in the NL Central. They have played very well against Milwaukee. Not so good against the Cardinals, but they've got a lot of confidence that they can catch the Cardinals. They're 3 games back of St. Louis, and then they've got to leapfrog over the Cardinals and run down the Brewers. But they've got the pitching that can do it, in my mind.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You got to figure the Brewers are going to slow down a little bit, cool off at some point, or maybe go into a little bit of a slump. They haven't really had a slump all season long. That'll be the chances then for the Cardinals and the Reds with their great pitching staffs, and they really have good pitching staffs. That'll give them a chance to try and catch the Brewers.
Milwaukee has a team hitting .260. They're tied with the Pirates at the start of play today, and Brewers are middle of the pack in the pitching department. .364 team earned run average, but they're 15 games over 500. Joey Votto's had a good day at the plate. He has walked, doubled, and singled. He's also struck out. He is 2 for 3 with a couple of runs scored and an RBI. Sound like he may have broken his bat. Brett Laurie throws him out at first. What a play. Great range by Laurie. Throws out his fellow Canadian to end the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. It's all the Reds here on Saturday afternoon. Brett Laurie moves over to second and makes a terrific play to take a hit away from Joey Votto. West, it'll be connected on Pacific, top of the hour. It's a great pitching matchup. The Tigers are in Cleveland to take on the Indians. Justin Verlander goes to the mound for Detroit against Trevor Bauer, the young right-hander for the Cleveland Indians. So it's connected across 3 channels and more baseball on Pacific. A major league debut for Carlos Contreras, and he is coming up from Double-A to make this appearance this afternoon.
This is the 3rd Reds player this season to make their major league debut for him. Tucker Barnhart back in April, and then we saw Jumbo Diaz in yesterday's ballgame make his major league debut. Spent the season in Double-A, like you said, at Pensacola, and he just pitched in 9 ballgames. He was on the disabled list from the end of April till June the 2nd. Last pitched Thursday. Contreras, there are the 9 games that he has pitched in with a very good earned run average, and he's held right-handed batters to a 176 batting average.
The Reds have had to dig down deep into their minor league system to shore up their bullpen. We saw Jumbo Diaz make his big league debut last night. Contreras is also, like Diaz, from the Dominican Republic. He is just 23 years old, and they've taken that baseball out of play to save it for Contreras. That was his first big league pitch. There's a fly ball into center. Phillips is back. He has to go out to make the catch. 1 out. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Connected. Here's Jamie Thomas. Thank you, Jamie. Of course, Germany and Ghana are in the same pool as USA and Portugal, and USA and Portugal will play their second match in World Cup tomorrow evening against Portugal. All that coming up next on Connected with Jamie Thomas, and more baseball top of the hour on Pacific, Tigers and Indians. Brett Laurie 1 for 3 this afternoon, taps this one toward third. Frazier throws on the run just in time. 2 down. Now the Blue Jays have just too much of Mike Leake. He went 8 innings, allows 4 hits, just a single run. That was the home run he gave up to Colby Rasmus in the 7th. Struck out 6 through 113 pitches, and just for good measure, got a base hit and scored a run.
Yeah, 4th time this season that Mike Leake goes 8 innings for the Cincinnati Reds. 4 hits. One of them, a ball that was lost in the sun. The other one, an infield hit for Mike Leake, against Mike Leake. So he's the MVP this afternoon in this ball game.
Toby Rasmus takes his strike. The Blue Jays were down 8-0 in last night's game and fought their way back to win it 14-9. There were no comebacks in the program today for the Blue Jays. They fell behind quickly 3-0 in the first, and Cincinnati just took it and ran away.
Yeah, 3 in the first, 1 in the third, 4 more in the fourth. That was the big one right there that really took it out of reach. Difference between today's game, Blue Jays falling behind 8-0, and yesterday it was only the second inning when they were behind 8-0. They had 7 innings to catch up.
2-1. Carlos Contreras making his major league debut here against the Blue Jays, and you know that he's got bragging rights. First major league batter he faces, Edwin Encarnacion, and gets him to pop out. He'll be on the phone to the Dominican Republic tonight.
Yeah, guess what I did? Had to face Edwin. He's looking for his first major league strikeout now. Breaking ball doesn't look too shabby.
He started his career with the Reds in 2008. There's his first big league strikeout. A perfect inning for Contreras. His first inning in the big leagues is a good one.
This was all about Mike Leake this afternoon. 8 very strong innings for Leake. The Reds jump out front and then early with 8 runs through 4 innings, and then Leake takes them the rest of the way, does an outstanding job. Also chipped in a base hit. Blue Jays are going to have to forget about this one and get ready for tomorrow afternoon's ball game.
Johnny Cueto will go up against R.A. Dickey in the series finale. Stay tuned. Connected coming up. East Ontario and Westmore baseball, top of the hour. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Here's Jamie Thomas.